What is up, peeps? FTWTVHD here, and I'd like to welcome you back to another YouTube video. And today, we are actually going to be talking about a incredible potential mill deck here when Celestial Storm does come out. Now, before I do get into it, I just want to let you know, I know I'm not sounding like I have a lot of energy and I'm not putting a lot into the video. It's because I absolutely woke up with insane back pain last night and the pain is still radiating today. So I am trying to ensure that I rest my back as much as I can, so I won't be putting much energy into my videos and won't be doing much movement. So unfortunately, it will sound a bit dull, so I do apologize there. Hopefully I do get better soon so I can get back into the groove of things. But let's talk about this potential mill deck, and it's going to be fantastic. So it is going to be, once Celestial Storm is released, it's going to be around Zoroark and Magcargo, and will also include Oranguru. So let's actually get into why I think this deck has insane potential. So we'll actually go through Magcargo, what it does. I'm sure a lot of you already know, but just to be on the safe side, if you don't know, Magcargo is a stage 1 at 90 HP fire type Pokemon, which means it's weak to water. Stage 1 is pretty decent. Stage 1 has never been a problem in any deck. 90 HP is incredibly low, which is a bad thing. It can be easily one shot, but we've seen many times before 90 HP Pokemon being used as support Pokemon. Think Octillery. So again, it's not going to be something crazy. Now we do have free retreat costs, which is so free star retreat costs. It's not free retreat. That'd be insane. Which is quite bad because post rotation Floatstone is going, but pre rotation that's not a problem whatsoever. But let's go over what it does. So we'll start with the attack because the ability is more important. The attack is Searing Shot, 50 damage, firing double colorless. Honestly, nothing great. That's a terrible attack. But of course, we're not using this for the attack. We're using for the ability. The ability is Smooth Over. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may search your deck for a card, shuffle your deck, and then place that card on top. Now, you can already tell why I think this will work incredibly well with Zoroark. Of course, Zoroark has trade. Now, you can trade one card away and get that card you put on top of your deck every single turn, which means it's half a Mallow every single turn, which is absolutely crazy. And if you have 2 Zoroarks in play and 2 Magcargo, you can get any 2 cards you want every single turn. Now, the odds of you having 2 Magcargo in play aren't as common as the odds of having 2 Zoroark, because this list primarily would be like 4-4 Zoroark line, 2-2 Magcargo line, and then some other stuff there as well to help out, like free Lele, some more consistent cards. But you can still have 2-2 Magcargo, and I say that's a pretty decent one. So you could literally use Smooth Over, trade, use Smooth Over again, and trade again. So you could at any point get any 2 cards during your turn if you have 2 Magcargos out and 2 Zoroarks, which in this deck is definitely a possibility. So it's like a Mallow every single turn, which is absolutely insane. What it does as well is it makes Puzzle of Time incredibly consistent and a lot more easier to achieve at any turn. The reason being is because if you have one single puzzle in your hand, instead of trading like 10 times, obviously I'm emphasizing, just to get that extra puzzle that you want, you can just Smooth Over, put the puzzle on top of your deck, trade once, and there you go, you got your double puzzle. And if you have both Magcargos in play, you can put one puzzle on top, trade, there you go, put the second puzzle on top, trade again, there you go. You can get a double puzzle with you can literally have one card in your hand, and with 2 Magcargos in play and 2 Zoroarks, you can get double puzzle that turn consistently, and that's insane. Being able to do that any turn is incredible because you can access your discard pile, which you will want to access because you're trading a lot, any turn in the game. You can use your Oranguru, which is of course the big combo here. Use your Oranguru to get your puzzles back, and then use Magcargo to put them back on top. You don't need a Mallow. You don't need a Mallow to do it. Now, the original Zoroark Oranguru list, which Todd Redcliffe played in the NAIC, did use Oranguru and Mallow to get its cards back on the top once you bring it to the bottom. And that was great. But of course, it's less consistent because you can't play Mallow every turn. Sometimes you need draw support. Sometimes you need N because your opponent is going to start taking prizes. So you're not going to want to play Mallow every turn. Well, with 2 Magcargos out, you're not going to need to play Mallow every turn. Now, of course, we need to consider bench space. Obviously, if we have 2 Magcargo and 2 Zoroark, there's only 1 extra bench space, which means you only have 1 outs to a Lele. But you don't have to play 2 Magcargo, which is why I would say only play a 2-2 line. 1 Magcargo is just good enough. You primarily you'd want your Oranguru in the active with any potential help, so like a weakness policy or a fighting fury belt. Even your Zoroark, you can play weakness policy and keep your Zoroark in the active. 210 HP with a weakness policy is great, which means it's going to be hard to knock out. So that's something to consider. However, you are giving up 2 prizes. But then if you give up 2 prizes, then you can start ending them, which is even better for you. So Magcargo is great, and the reason why you can end them is because you can just use Magcargo, trade, and you've got your end. Oh, your ends are gone? All right, Magcargo, trade, get that extra Puzzle of Time. Every turn you get the 1 card you want, and that's insane. The reason why this ability is so good, especially with Zoroark, is think about Garchomp Lucario. Now, this card is not seeing play professionally. It's not seeing play in the big tournaments because it's too inconsistent, because it's a stage 1, stage 2 deck, which everyone knows is ridiculously inconsistent and just won't see play. But let's say, for the sake of it, let's say Garchomp was a stage 1. if Garchomp was a stage 1, that deck would see play 100%. Because having the ability to use Lucario's ability, which is, if you have a Garchomp in play, you can go ahead and grab any card you want. Grabbing any card you want during your turn is just outright overpowered. That's why Computer Search was an ace spec card, which means you can only play that one ace spec card in your deck, and you had to discard 2 cards just to get any card you want. Crash Awake is a support card, but you have to discard 2 water energy in your hand to get any card you want. And that's a support card, which means you can't grab yourself another supporter and play it. So getting any card you want in your deck is an incredibly overpowered effect, and being able to do it every single turn is insane. And that would be great for mill, because of course you can have your Zoroark in the active weakness policy and start milling away. You can choose what card you want every turn based on the deck you're playing. And that is absolutely broken. Now, post-rotation, that this deck does weaken, of course, because you lose your Puzzle of Time. However, considering we're playing Oranguru in this list, or I would prefer playing Oranguru in this list, it shouldn't be too hard to recover the things you need anyway. So it's not a big deal in that sense, but Puzzle of Time, of course, is going to be the one thing that makes this deck absolutely broken. So that is the actual deck. I won't make any deck lists yet. I'll maybe look into it and see what I can come up with. I'd rather wait for Celestial Storm to release first so I can put Magcargo into testing so I know exactly how good it is. Obviously, it is good, but just to see how it works with something like Zoroark and how it can work as a mill deck before I start go ahead and saying, oh my god, this is the best deck ever. But this video is just saying, hey, this is insane potential. The potential is absolutely outlandish. So do look into it, see if you can make something cool with this, and maybe this is that one mill deck that will take the top slot one day. You never know. But other than that, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'll leave you to it, and peace.